Howdy, y'alls. Welcome back. It's me, Dr. Edwards. This time, I wanted to put together a quick little video to help you all out with your Milestone 3. This one is all about analyzing a concept, all right? And for your final project, you have 3 concepts that you're going to have to do this for. So what I want to do is give you a basic breakdown of how to affect an anthropological analysis of a key or core concept. So, yeah, let me just pick one at random. Say gender. All right, this is one that I talk at length about in this week's module announcement. So you'll be able to kind of connect this with some of the other things that I say. One good model to use when analyzing any concept, all right, is to be sure to define it, okay? Now, don't just regurgitate what our textbook says. You want to paraphrase the definition, put it in your own words, and offer appropriate citation. You know, an in-text citation at the end. MindEdge, 2016. Excuse me. That definition is going to be how you assess the behavior, all right, that you're identifying in your film. So, since gender is all about not just biological, all right? In fact, we try to separate it. You know, that's sex, right? Gender is the social roles that people play. It may be based on biological sex or not, all right? So, how to put it? I would then, I don't know, try to think of an example from a popular movie. I don't know, Titanic. All right, we got 2. It's a romance, right? Romances are great for exploring, behavior associated with gender. So you would pick a scene. After you've kind of defined your concept, you're going to outline this basic scene, and then show how that scene, right, what you're seeing in the film, how that fits the definition that you've provided. Okay. So this all has to do with social norms and cultural values. In Titanic, we see very archetypical, right, male and female roles. We see the development of a heterosexual relationship where you have a male and a female, biologically and gender speaking, that play certain roles with each other. We'll see here. You can also think in your own family, all right? Everyone is going to have unique roles that they play within that, all right? I'm going to use my own family as an example, all right? We might have might think of very, kind of like Leave It to Beaver gender roles, that you have a father figure that, is the primary breadwinner, and you have a mother figure that is really all about supporting and maintaining the home. Right? Those are gender roles. Right? Those are very traditional, right? American traditional gender roles. And remember that different groups will do it differently. So we want to be able to apply your cultural relativity to highlight that. Right? Let's see here. In this week's announcement, I mentioned some unique forms of marriage, right? Such as polygyny. Okay, one man having multiple wives. Now, this is really in contrast to a lot of our cultural values and norms. So you're going to want to remove that and look at it from an objective perspective. What is it? What does it do? What does it provide the people, all right, that practice it? Why is it valuable to them? Now, some of that may be anecdotal. Some of that you might kind of have to kind of peel the layers back. Like, give you an example. In Mali, where I do most of my work, polygyny is very common. One man can have up to 4 wives officially, and many have more than that. Now, that doesn't mean that all men get that. Only some men, right? The numbers the math doesn't work if everyone has multiple wives. That would have a very skewed population demographic. Anyway, the men might say that having multiple wives is good because it means that they can help provide for others, that they might say something like, you know, that you have to have certain economic resources to be able to support such wives, right? They'll outline that you can't treat wives differently, that anything that you get for one wife, you have to get for all wives. Okay? Now, still using our cultural relativity, we can also look at what is the modes of production that are involved here. Well, that has a lot to do with agriculture. And in this region, that is still kind of reliant on labor-intensive agriculture by hand, having multiple wives produces more children, which serve as a labor force to work the land. Right? Now, that isn't ethnocentric. That's taking what we call an edict perspective, ETIC, which means an outside relative perspective. We're not judging it. We're just kind of, oh, well, this clearly relates to your subsistence strategy. Right? That's not judgmental. Okay. Yeah, and then you'd want to point out how it fits that. I just gave an example that does. So be really clear about outlining the definition for your core concept that you're going to address for this. Right? You want to give some descriptive description of the scene. You're going to want to use respectful language in that. You're going to want to avoid making any judgments. You're going to want to remain objective and apply your cultural relativity. Think of it as you are the expert that is giving insight into this situation. All right? And you want to really invest in this, because I'm going to give you directed feedback that you're going to be able to use for all of your core concepts, right? Basic modeling and strategies to use. Keep in mind that, this is just kind of a stepping stone, if you would. It needs to be solid, all right? The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Looking for 1 to 2 pages, okay? Definitely, make sure to cite your sources. Use APA style citation. I hope that helps. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns, don't you hesitate to get a hold of me. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Right? If you want to set up a Skype meeting and I can kind of serve as a sounding board for your ideas and give you some initial feedback, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so have a great one. I'm really looking forward to your all's analyses, and yeah, have a great one. Take care.